Hey everyone. Good morning. You gonna say good morning too? Is that what you're doing? Hi. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and we are here today for Wednesday edition of Cricut Chat. Cricut Chat's a daily live program on Facebook through my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I'm your host, Rita. And if you're listening live, you're probably listening or watching from Facebook. And then if you want to catch the replay, you can find them on YouTube or also my channel. This is a very unique format. We do chat during these and I'm chatting with the people that are on Facebook. Good morning, Matt. So I'm chatting with people on Facebook, and unfortunately that chat does not get carried over to YouTube. However, I do record the video and put the replay on YouTube for people who are not on Facebook. And also for people who are just trying to find a video and can't be bothered with Facebook, okay? So there's that. So my name is Rita. I am a Cricut product expert. I have been one for 7 years now. And so I focus mostly on Cricut and Cricut Design Space. Let's see. Design Space just went through another iteration. I want to show you. If you haven't received the update yet, this one is called or numbered. If you go to Cricut Design Space here, and by the way, my computer is impossibly slow today. I don't know what's going on, but it is impossibly slow. So I hope that I can do this class without having to pause a gazillion times. But so the version, if you ever want to see your version, you're going to go up here to Cricut Design Space and choose About. And this is what you will get. The version is 6.9 point whatever. Mine is 6.9.156, although there may be different versions. I don't know. The important thing is that 6.9 means that you have the update for something called kerning. And kerning is basically spacing. It's all about letter spacing. Kerning is an old it's an old term that's was often used in typography. And for instance, when they used to have to do either desktop publishing or, believe it or not, the old typeface, where they would have spaces, like built-in spaces between each of the letters. And so one of the big problems, let's say, or pain points, let's say that Diana, if you haven't received the new update, you have to probably log out and re-log in, because it will include that. I had to actually do that this morning because I was on a like a test platform, and it updated just recently. So kerning is an old term, but it was one that was very relevant for Design Space users because, hey, David, we've been looking for you. Sorry to interrupt, but we're seeing David Burrows, who we hardly ever see lately, and so we're hoping everything was okay. So anyway, so kerning is about fonts, and if you don't use your text box often enough, then you may not know what we're talking about. But for people who use text boxes a lot, kerning is a really big deal. So here is kerning. This is my kerning is here. Now, kerning mostly applies to script, but let's add a text font, and I will type my name. it can be, it is also good for use with the block letters or non-script font. So here's what we would do. So if I want my name in a script font, I would create a text box, and then I would come up here to where it says font. Okay, now one thing you're going to notice is right here where it has a checkbox that says only kerned fonts. Okay, hi Karen, hi Aledra. Yeah, I'm glad he's back too. So if you have that checkbox, that means you got the kerning update. Okay, you maybe didn't see that it was updating, but if you have this checkbox, or under the about, if you have that 6.9 point whatever version, then you have received kerning. Now, some people are still struggling with offset, and so it's really important for you to if you have had a problem with offset, that you report it, because I was told that the recent update to with the kerning was going to resolve the issue that some people were receiving with offset. And we're going to talk about offset again and pattern fill a little bit later on, but I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that you had kerned fonts, the version. So what does this little checkbox do? This little checkbox is kind of like a filter. It's only going to show you the fonts that can be kerned or basically moved together. If you want and you're looking for a font that perhaps it isn't kerned for whatever reason, you can uncheck this box and you'll see all of the fonts there, regardless of kerning. Okay, so there is that. Now, I would suggest you leave it on kern, because for the most part, all fonts are going to, I don't want to say all fonts, but most all fonts are going to be, have a benefit of kerning. So here it is. I use this kerned font called Bandira, Bandira script. And I'm going to make it big because I want to show you this. Now, the reason why I want to just kind of show you, so even though I did this and it's all nice and together, do note that unless you make a change to it, unless you do something like ungroup to letters, which right here I'd ungroup to letters, then these are not like attached. So even though I'm pretty sure if I went to go cut this, it would cut them in order, but let me check that actually, because that is a very interesting question. You see, it needs to be welded together before you can cut it. And the reason why I think that is that between each of these letters, you can see actually a cut. Yeah. So here we go. We ungrouped it to letters, and now my name has been, I have 4 I's in my name. I had never thought of that. I have a lot of C's. I knew I had a lot of C's, but 4 I's. Okay. So before you go to cut a kerned font, you still would want to weld it so that when you did hit make it, it would make the entire thing together without jumbling it up. Okay. So what about the fonts that you found, say at DaFont or some other free site? Or what about fonts that you've purchased and want to use, want to use this, okay? Or that you want to use, let's say you found a really great font on DaFont and you want to make sure that it's a kerning font, or you want to be able to use it in Design Space. So easy peasy for this, okay? And that is, we're going to go, let's go to the website DaFont. It's DaFont .font, okay, .com. And this is probably the number one place that people get fonts from outside of Design Space. They're all free. And they're categorized in quite a number of categories, and there are literally thousands of them. So if you follow up here, this is sort of their organizational system. If you follow up here and you go over to the right where it says script, this is where most of the Kern fonts would be, or most of the fonts that were script that will potentially be Kern fonts. So you go to script, and there are actually subgroups underneath this: calligraphy, school, handwritten, and brush. I like the handwritten and brush fonts, and you can find all of these really cool, what look to me like handwritten. Now, let's sort of dig a little deeper here. I want to look at one. So let's have a look at this one, Better Together Script. Okay. Now over here, I'll make sure you can see this. Over here, you will see the number of downloads total that this script has had. So it says here over 2 million. Okay, 2 million downloads with 1,851 yesterday. Why is that important? Well, it's important perhaps if you're trying to model or recreate a font. You know, those people that walk around and go, what font is that? Sometimes if you just can get close enough, that's just as good. And you can do that by looking and see, okay, 2 million downloads. That's quite a few downloads as compared to maybe something that was brandy new. And I believe these kind of go in order of how many downloads were done. So if we were to go to page 118, you will see that the Bovalo font has only been downloaded 4,200 times and none yesterday. So this is kind of, if you are looking for something very unique, maybe look at the oldest or the ones with the least amount of downloads, or if you want something that is similar to something that another person is using, use the ones that have more downloads. Now, this is extremely easy to do, okay? Is if you, once you find what you're looking for, and I'm going to go back to one. Once you find what you're looking for, let's try, I like this one. Cathin. It's called Cathin. This is also a very popular one. It's called Beyond the Mountains. People really like that one, and for good reason. But let's choose Cathin. So what we're going to do is you can click on here if you want, and you will see all kinds of information. Now, most of the times these fonts are free for personal use. If you want to use them for a commercial reason, you do often need to purchase the commercial license, and you will see that here listed in the detail page of this font. Sometimes people just create fonts, and here is what this is going to look like once I download it, okay? Sometimes people just create fonts and they're really cool and they want to share them. That's what happens. Or sometimes there's a whole font, a whole company that just focuses on fonts. And that's what they do, and they're trying to entice you, so they give you a little bit of a taste of the font, and then when you go to use it commercially, and you're kind of on your honor here. I think for the most part, most people who are listening are going to be using this for personal use, so I don't think you need to worry about it. But if you do end up using it commercially, and you got it from DaFont, go back to DaFont and check out what their commercial use includes. Okay, so once I find something that I really like, which we decided was going to be this Kerning, I'm going to download. Now, just below the download, there's another box. It's called Donate to Author. So as I mentioned, sometimes there are just individual authors that work, like they're graphic designers and they work on their own, they're independent, and you could you could donate to the author and, give them some money, $1, $2, or whatever you want to pay for the use of the font, but it's purely optional. Then above that is the download button. So once you click on that download button, you'll see, now I'm on a Mac, remember, but you'll see that it comes down to downloads. So let me show you where it ended up. So here is my downloads file. Okay. So on my download file, you will see Kerning. See this? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kerning font, okay? And you will see, sometimes there'll be like 3, sometimes more underneath that file folder. One is usually a README text document that just read me talking about the font and how to pay for a commercial license. And you can definitely read that. That's what this is about. See, it will bring up this. It's usually a text file and just say, you can use this for personal use. However, if you want to purchase the license, here it is. Okay. And then let's go back. You will see something either with the extension OTF or TTF. Open Type Font is what OTF stands for. TTF stands for True Type Font. At this point in time, most computers take both. But way back in the day, you had to be aware of this. And that's why people still make a distinction between OTF and TTF. But in this case, not necessary. So let's click on this one here. It says OTF. And we will see this little dialog box. Actually, I've got 2 dialog boxes because right before I went on, I clicked on this one called Strawberry Blossom. So once you get this little dialog, you will see here, and this is a Mac. Again, Windows might be slightly different, but I can see here that I have not installed this font onto my system. So I want to install it. So I just hit Install Font. Now, what will happen is I will open up this. This is your font library, font book, right? This is on Mac, of course. And here under this, you will see all fonts, computer fonts, and user. So look at my user file. I have 147 fonts that I have added to my user file, including the one I just did. And so I can find it by just looking by the name, and there it is. And I could also look and see all the other different fonts that I have. You see that? Now, once these are in your font book, you're going to be able to use them in Cricut Design Space when you're working with fonts. And in addition, you're going to be able to use any that you have on your computer that are not shaded out. So like here's one, Chalk Dust. Let's see. Things like Comic Sans. I think I mentioned that the other day. My son thinks that's the most funny font in the world. And there's all different kinds for all different alphabets. I think there's even a Cyrillic, and I know there's Arabic and everything else. So I don't know what this is. Hindi. Maybe it's Hindi. But some of these you can remove if you're never, ever going to use it. Some of them you can't because they're just embedded into the font. Okay? So once I have that Kerning, I could have picked an easier one. I can then, I want to make sure that it's here because let's check under my system fonts. starting with a K. All right. So it is possible, and that's what I'm kind of seeing, that my new font is not going to show up until I refresh or back out. I don't see it. Okay. But once you kind of refresh or back out, it will appear under your system fonts. And this is what you would do. So for instance, let's say I want to change Rita Marie Cavicchio, my name, into a different, I changed it to a cut file. Hold on. I hope that I'm going to be able to use that. No. Okay, so let me do it again. So I'm going to add a text box and add my name, Rita Marie Cavicchio, okay? And this normally comes up in kind of like a block letter, but if I want to change it, I would just go up to font, and here I have some choices, okay? So here I have all. This is all of the fonts. That includes both Cricut Design Space fonts, my system fonts, and my user fonts. This can be a little overwhelming for most people when they're first getting started. And I agree with people who say you should be able to sort of star your favorites. I would love that option, and I've mentioned it to Cricut before, so who knows, maybe it'll come later. But if you want to sort of drill down and just use the fonts that you have on your system, you would choose system, and then you can go ahead and find the font. So here's one called Aesthetic Script, and then I would choose it. Now do note that I have my only current fonts button on, okay? So I'm going to click that, and you'll notice that it changes it. Whoa, it's a very big font. It changes it to 51 inches wide. Well, we don't need that. So here is 10 inches wide, and it's slightly different. Now from here, we can also change style if it's allowed, or we can change a font again just by simply clicking a new font. You see that? And these are all kerned, which means they're connected. So, so if, let's say, you're not seeing a font that you really, really love, then it's possible that it is not a kerned font. And if you say, well, it just disappeared, it didn't disappear. It's just you need to uncheck under only kerned fonts, okay? The other thing I want to point out here is that there is a search box. So if you remember the name of the font, unlike me, you can type in the name of the font and you will immediately find it. Or if you know it had the letter K at the beginning, you could just type the letter K and it will bring up all fonts that have the letter K in it. Also, to the very far right of the text box is something called filters. And so let's go to filters. Now, filters are going to basically, just like filters work, it's going to drill down on the fonts that you have installed. So for instance, let's say you want to use a pen or the foil and you only want to see writing fonts. So here we're going to choose writing, and nothing came up. So I need new search terms. Isn't that interesting? Well, this used to work, but sadly it does not anymore. So I will report this to Cricut. So the writing font one does not seem to be working, which is odd. What if I uncheck the current font thing? Nope, still not working. So eventually this will work. And just so you know, if you get overwhelmed, like I often do with the with the an amount of fonts that are in Design Space, you can normally use these filters, or you can choose either your system fonts or just your Cricut fonts for that. Now, someone mentioned to me last night, why do I have to download all of these? You do not need to download these. This is only for if you want to work offline. Remember, Cricut Design Space does work in an offline capacity. Most of the times it's connected to your Wi-Fi internet connection, and that is how you get all of those images. But there are times when, say, you're sitting at the doctor's office and you want to play with your laptop and you or whatever, and you want to be able to design from there. You would design offline. Okay, so that's what this download is for. You do not need to download all of these just because there's a button here. It's for offline work. Okay, so while we're here and we have this really awesome, my name, let's talk a little bit about how we can jazz this up. One of the things that I've seen a lot of people do is they make their own stickers. And if you've been bitten by the sticker bug, which I love stickers, so if you've been bitten by the sticker bug, it's very simple for you to go ahead and make your own stickers, such as, let me just type in, just do it. Okay, I know that that's somebody else's saying, but we'll change that. Let's have a look at the font that we want to use. Where is Beyond the Mountains? That's a good one. I like that one. Beyond, do I have it in here? I might not have it in here. So I'll choose something else. Let's see. This one is fine. Okay. And you see that it's come up with this really awesome font, and it's all kerned. Before, you would have to ungroup, and move all those letters. And there were a lot of tricks that people took great strides to figure out how to do, and now they don't have to worry about that. So let's say I want to make a sticker out of this. I can center it because I like it. Do I like the space between the lines? Yes. I could change the color to make it any color that I want to, and then I can weld it together and then choose offset. Now, this is really kind of interesting because the offset, and I'm going to apply offset here, is separate. Okay, so, but I kind of don't want that. So, how do I go back and try this again? So let's try, just do it. Okay, so there's my other one. So I am going to ungroup this to lines, and I'm actually going to make it sort of touch like this. So maybe like this. Is that good? And then I'll weld it together. And then when I hit offset, they're automatically together. Okay, so you do need to kind of think about what you want to do here. Okay, but now we have an offset layer that combines all of it. And then once we have that, we can select this entire thing. And to make stickers, this is what I would suggest you do, is flatten it. So once you flatten it, it's going to become a print then cut, which is kind of what people do stickers in. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the offset layer, because there's a very hidden feature, and I've talked about this before and people want me to talk about it again, but there's a very hidden feature in Design Space. It's called pattern fill. Okay, now pattern fill is sort of like the coloring, and there are different patterns that are already sort of embedded in Design Space, and you can change it. But basically, pattern fill is something you want to do if you're doing a print then cut. Okay, so let us ungroup this or unflatten it. Let's unflatten it. So I'm going to make this really large so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So here we have Just Do It. I really love it. And now I have this, and I can change the color to anything I want. It's a print then cut. I could change the color. Maybe I want a yellow background. That's cool. Or maybe I want a peach background, or I want the letters to be peach and this background to be even white. Now I know you can't see it, but that would look pretty cool cut out as a sticker because it have white all around it. So you just simply go up to Operation, make sure that your offset layer is in Print Then Cut, and then right next to Operation is where you're going to touch. There's a little square, so you can choose whatever you want for color. But the hidden little gem here is under this box. So when you hit this down box where it says color, you can choose pattern. Now, I will admit that this is sort of lost in the shuffle a bit, and with all the major reworkings of Design Space, this is one that still needs to be worked on, but it's so small, unknown, but it's really going to make your stickers pop if you know how to do this. So by choosing pattern, you'll notice that there are a lot of patterns here. And it does take a while for these patterns to all fill in. So give it some time. And there are quite a few here, and you'll see it's starting to fill in. Okay, so let's choose this one. It's a heart one. I think it's a heart one, or it might be a triangle one. No, it's watermelon. So we'll choose that. And then what we'll do, I'm going to change this back to a kind of let's make it red because watermelon. Right? Then we have a pattern behind our sticker. Do make sure you flatten it so that it's together. And then you can have all of these wonderful, I'll make it big so you can see the watermelon. But isn't this adorable? This is what is going to make your stickers extremely unique. Now, what if there isn't the pattern that you want? Well, super simple. You can purchase or download for free patterns all over the internet. My personal way of doing this is I like to buy the patterns from Etsy. So Etsy has what's called digital paper. Here's one that I purchased last night. It's called Painted Galaxy. When you're looking for digital papers, check the price. They shouldn't be a whole lot of money, unless it's maybe licensed or something. But generally speaking, these are not licensed. They are called digital papers. And what you're going to look for is things that say seamless, or that have a large number of pixels. And that is because you don't want to have to deal with seams with patterns. And I can show you what I mean by that. So here is, I purchased for $2.98. It's 25% off. I purchased 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 seamless watercolor Starry Night backgrounds, okay? Which they're awesome. So how do I get them onto my Design Space? Well, super simple. You go back to Design Space, and we're going to go over here to upload. Okay, this is something we're all familiar with. However, we don't have, generally speaking, we haven't used this. It's called pattern fill. And this is where you're going to add to that pattern fill library that we just saw. Okay, so you just simply go here and click on upload pattern and browse. Now make sure you have downloaded the images that you want. And remember, these are, let me just go to downloads. Here we go. These are, let me see, aesthetic. Was that the one no, it was called Painted Galaxy. I don't see it. So let's choose this one. Oh, I did see it. It's right there. Okay. So here it is. So I really like these colors. They kind of remind me of the alcohol inks. So I'm going to choose that. And you notice that these are JPG files, okay? Oftentimes they're PNG files or JPG files. You do not want PDF files, because PDF files are not usable in Design Space, and you'd have to like basically get a converter, okay? So let's just choose this one, Painted Galaxy, and we're gonna hit open, and it's showing me, oh, there's my print and cut pattern fill, and I can go over here. Hi, Guadalupe. I can go over here and it gives it a name. Sometimes the creator has been very good about giving it a unique name. Sometimes you'll just see it has a number or a letter. And so you might want to name it to something. You can also choose color optional, the different colors. Since this is sort of a melded color, I could choose rainbow here, and I can show you how that works. So then all I do is upload it. Okay. Now, once I have it uploaded, and it will come back to my canvas. Okay. Let's see. It might take a minute because, as I mentioned, my computer is unbearably slow today. It will come back to, yay, there's my canvas. So let's use our Just Do It. Let's just use our Just Do It one. And I want to point out that this is a pattern, and you can actually see this is a seam. Can you see that? That's a seam. So these ones that we purchased were seamless, and I want to avoid this. But if I want to change that, I can show you how to do that. But first, let's go. We're going to go print and cut. We're going to choose the print type pattern, and you will see that this is the last pattern that I uploaded, and thankfully it comes up at the top of the list. Okay, so all I need to do is choose that, and you'll see that it's kind of working, and then we're going to have our pattern fill in this way. Isn't that great? It changes the look so much. So let us take there. I think maybe I don't want red, but look at this. Look at how awesome this looks. I mean, it looks really professional. And then just make sure that you're going to select them both, and you're going to use flatten, which is down here on the bottom. Flatten, because we want them to print. This is a print and cut option. Now, what happens if you download or you want to use a filter that not a filter, a pattern that has a seam in it, like the one we just had? Easy peasy. We're going to go back to, I'm going to unflatten it. We're going to go back to that box, right? And under pattern. And what we're going to do is we are going to filter the pattern. So let's choose one that I know might have a filter. Let's try this one. I think this one does have that. So this is one I purchased on Etsy. I don't think it was seamless. Right, it's not. So right here, see this right here? You know, and most people wouldn't notice this, but we're designers, so we're going to notice this stuff, right? So right here, there is a seam. Well, I don't want a seam in my perfect stickers, right? So I am going to go to filter. I'm sorry, not filter. I'm going to go to edit pattern. Duh, Rita. Okay. And you will see here that I can edit the pattern in like 6 different ways. First, I can change the scale of the pattern, either with the up and down box like this, and scale will make it sort of like expand. But that's not really helping, because now I have 2 lines here. So I'm going to put the scale back. And by the way, sorry, you can also use the little bouncy ball and change the scale this way, like this. So this is going to make it small. and this is going to make it big. Cool, right? The other thing that you can do is start playing around with the pattern. Like maybe your Just Do It is sort of in the middle of the pattern. Maybe it's showing up because it's so big. Thank you. So you can, I'm going to sneeze again. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's allergies. It's the pollen. So then you can change it horizontally. So horizontally is going to change it from one side to the other, and you can also change it vertically. I'm thinking horizontally up and vertical up. Oh, one more time. I get to go home. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and you see where our little seams are moving. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can flip it both horizontally and vertically. I love to flip. I'm going to say, oh, that's it. I get to go home for the day. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, you can flip it and you can rotate it. But this is all so that you can avoid these lines in your seams, in your seamless, in your seamed pattern fills. The easy way to get around this is just to buy seamless patterns, okay? But if you are stuck with something because you just want to have these cherries, you can go ahead and just, make your adjustments, whether it's in scale. So maybe I'll do a little bit of both. So look, I'm making in scale, and then horizontally and vertically, I can get rid of those. Let's see, did I just do it? I did it. So then we just click X, and it has changed the scale of this, but no more big seam there. And then I can change my font color to red, I think. Maybe not red, maybe green, light green, white. All right. And then again, I'm going to flatten it. Okay. So for people who haven't done this before, let me just go over it. So pattern fill is a print then cut. Very important to remember that. So pattern fill is a print then cut. And you can make a print then cut sticker by using, say, this, and I'm going to, let's see. So here's my Just Do It, and I could, this actually, let me just put a new one in, all right? So I'm going to put a new Just Do It. Just Do It. All right. And I can play around by making it look like this and put an exclamation point. And remember what I did was I ungrouped 2 lines. And so then I made these sort of get closer in, because when I did the offset, that looks kind of cool like that. So I got them together. I welded it. Slow computer. I welded it. I could change, for instance, here, I could change the color to whatever I want. Let me just weld it together. Now it's all one piece. I went to offset. I chose to apply the offset. So here's my offset piece. Then I am going to switch it over to print then cut, because that's the way you get fills. It's always print then cut. Go up here to the color thing and choose, instead of color, pattern. Find our pattern that we like. Be patient, because it takes a while for all the patterns to show up, right? So find the pattern you like. Make any adjustments that you need to make to that. Which, let's try this one. It's kind of like a glitter look to it. Okay, this one has a lot. Look, it has like a huge seam in it. I don't like that. So instead of fussing with it, I think I'll switch to polka dots. Let's try the polka dots. See if that doesn't come up with a theme. And the polka dots are invisible. Not good. Let's try this one. I'm sure I can fix that. I just don't know how. All right, that one looks terrible. So you're just going to play around. This is where your unique style shines through, okay? So I'm choosing this one. It's a glitter. Hopefully it's not seamed. But if it is seamed, then I can edit the pattern. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So let's go and edit the pattern. Now this one actually has because it's all different colors, so you can like scale it like this so that actually is kind of like lines, or you can scale it here. This is back to the original one, like this. See that? There we go. To me, that looks pretty cool. It's got like a silver ombre into like a green look. So let's choose that one. Then we're going to maybe change the color of this to, I don't know. Let's choose like kind of an aqua color like this. By the way, you can do advanced here if you want to make some changes in the color. Advanced. This is kind of cool. Let's do that. And then we collect both of them in our box and we flatten it. And now it's ready to, you can either resize it or whatever so that you can then, you can print it. This is a print then cut project. Okay. So if you don't have a printer, this is kind of, not, if you don't have a printer that can print then cut, this is maybe not something that you can do with your regular Cricut. But I want to show you because there is a lot of options here. And all you need to do is come up with like a text that you like. So maybe something very personal. Like, for instance, you're getting married and you want to create little stickers to put on your thank you cards that say thank you, or, your name, Josh and Rita. I don't know where I got the name Josh, but Josh and Rita, thank you, or whatever. Just simply start with a text. Choose the text you want. Oh, I put John and Rita Smith, let's say. All right. Or let's do it this way. Let's say just thank you for your order. How about that? And then you play around with it. Get it to the place where you like it, center it or whatever. Maybe you want to advance it and ungroup to the lines and then start, making it sort of connect somewhere. Like, I don't know, connect or be close by, because that's kind of important so that it ends up being one sticker. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of cute. The Y is sort of grabbing underneath it. So then I'm going to weld it together. Maybe I want to change it. My signature color is periwinkle, and I think, ooh, wouldn't this look cool with an offset as a sticker? I go to offset and I choose to apply offset. And isn't that amazing, right? Josh is my dream man. Yeah, no. But you can then, now I want to just flatten this together, and now I want to make a whole bunch of stickers that when I'm processing my orders, or maybe I own a little retail space or something and I want to put it on the outside of the box, whatever. Think of in terms of like in a business, maybe you run a bakery or a little retail shop, or even you run the school PTO and you want to just put, maybe the URL of the PTO or the phone number of your business and make it into a sticker sticker form, this is how you would do it. That's it. I mean, I see people on TikTok like every single day making it seem like they're creating these stickers like they're some super artists, and no offense to those people, but this is something we can do in Cricut, and it's super easy to do and a lot of fun. Okay, and doesn't really cost that much because you can get the free font. And then what font is that? What font is that? I don't know. What font is it? Let me check. It's called Cloud 9. Cloud 9. And where did I get it? Is it let me find. Cloud 9 CL is a Cricut font called Cloud 9 single layer cutting font. Okay? So if you're a Cricut Access customer, or you happen to download all of your fonts from DaFont, whatever, maybe you create your own pattern fill, or you buy like a 99-cent pattern fill, you could have a whole slew of wonderful, unique stickers just by knowing how to do this. So that's it for today. Was this helpful? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you're watching it afterwards. If it's helpful to you, please consider sharing it when it's shareable. There's no project today, but I can actually put these here as long as I can't actually share with pattern fills that I purchase outside, but I can maybe put together a little design space file and live it. It's information overload. I didn't want to be overloading you with information, but I wanted you to understand that you can now make your own stickers, and you don't have to just do the images. You can use fonts to do that, and you can make your own. And I'm thinking of like my friends that run little thank you, Babs. Thank you so much. Thinking of my friends that own little retail spaces that maybe want to sort of put their phone number and give somebody a sticker, so they might put it on. Did you see my coasters? No, I did not. Paralita. Oh, I did. They looked really nice, Paralita. The ones you do with the alcohol ink. I have a few more that I've been working on too. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Uh-oh, Shirley. Thank you. You're welcome, Lori. And I really appreciate you for coming. And tomorrow, we are going to work on, creating this, what's it called? A wall hanging, and we're going to use those glitter iron-on in neon colors to make like a summer wall hanging out of either burlap or canvas. I got a slew of burlap and canvas that I started cutting, and I was able to cut the canvas yesterday. It came out fabulous using the rotary blade, but I haven't yet tested the burlap. I'm wondering if that's going to be a problem on the maker. I don't know. So I'm going to try it either by hand, or we're going to see how it comes out, because both burlap and canvas can be ironed on, and I want to just sort of stretch your mind to think about different kinds of fabrics that you can use for not just cotton. Okay. And let's see, so that would make it Thursday, and then Friday, I am still trying to decide what to do. I think that we're either going to make these shadow box cards, or we'll work on making little tea light lanterns that are Dreaming Tree free files. So if you have a preference, let me know. There are more than just this patriotic one. There's a couple of others that are really darn cute. also from Laurie Whitlock, and are fairly new. So let me know in comments, all right? What's a good printer for print and cut? I'm probably not the best person to ask Kirsten because because I still use my old school HP, what do they call it? Envy. It's an Envy. It is got to be 6 years old. And it works for me. And I use sticker paper from onlinelabels.com. They make great sticker paper. And then we go through and we cut them out. So just about any inkjet printer. It should be an inkjet printer. You don't need a laser printer. An inkjet or an ink, what else do they call it? A photo inkjet or something like that. So Canon has a Pixma. Trying to remember. HP has the Envy. It's really whatever you want to do, as long as it can do sort of color and you can connect it with your Cricut. Okay. Yeah, a Pixma would work for sure. And you just need to have color if you want to print color. And that's it, guys. Thank you for coming today. Really appreciate it. And we will see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to share this and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Even though we don't have a giveaway going on this week, we will have something when June starts. And so we want you to be in the running for that, okay? Hope you get some crafting in today. It's a beautiful crafting day. And we'll see you again bright and early tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.